Hi everyone. So I want to speak to you a bit about my journey so far and how I've experienced my spiritual awakening. And back in, it was between 2017 to 2020, I had a beauty business. And I was doing, as I was still doing my, my services and things like this, because I was a beauty therapist actually for about 25 years, believe it or not. And I had my own business and I really enjoyed the work, but there was still something that felt a little unfulfilling. Thank you. Unfulfilling about what I was or how things were happening, how, financially or, why it seemed so difficult to either have a business or make money, or just get ahead in life, really. And I did the work because I really actually loved it. I loved helping people and I loved their skin and all that kind of stuff. So that wasn't really the issue. The issue for me at the time was more about my structure and how I was going about things. And it just made me really realize as well that over time, and for me, pretty much for most of my teens and adulthood, I would get myself into certain relationships and things, and then I'd notice there would be, some things that weren't quite working properly, or it would create a bit of an imbalance in what I was doing. So it would sometimes take away my complete focus in my own goals and dreams. And that sometimes led to me losing jobs or closing down businesses, things like this, because I became lost in the other person. And, it's really important for me, during this phase and when I was going through this process of trying to find the answers to my problems and my issues relating and regarding to business and money relating matters, but also connections and relationships and friendships and all this kind of stuff, and why certain things only seem to happen temporarily and then it seemed to just kind of dissipate. So it would either last a certain amount of time and then it would dissolve, and then it would just be a repeating cycle over and over again. And this led me to so much, anxiety and depression and burnout, and wondering what was wrong with me. Why couldn't I have what everyone else is having? Why couldn't I have a house or have my own place for longer than 6 months, or have a better car, or all these things that were coming into my mind, and even just having a better partnership? What was, and why was I only settling for something small? And obviously that comes down to my own self-worth. It comes down to own self-worth and how you value yourself and how you see yourself, and security around, your living situations, growing up, social society, all that kind of stuff. And so all these things really make a huge impact in relationships. And this can also do with either a father wound or masculine wound, where we haven't felt guided enough or protected or secure in our own, finances or in our own body. And we've also had, always had to hustle and work really, really hard to just make ends meet. And this is part of the old paradigm now. No one is really in that space anymore of hustle and grind. It is exhausting. I don't recommend it. I mean, we do to a point have to go after our own goals, work towards them in aligned action rather than constant push and force, because it does absolutely lead to all these problems of burnout and exhaustion and just complete shutdown and sometimes isolation. And it'll put you back into a place of just rest and relaxation, and that is absolutely fine. We all need to rest and relax our bodies, to some degree, because that's really important that our body gets the rest that we need due to all the stimuli out in the world, right? But I noticed even just going through these experiences, I would go through certain things, different modalities to really help discover more about myself. I do meditations, and I learned Vipassana, and I did plant medicines, and I've done ceremony cacao and a lot of breath work, and I've done all these things, somatic work and shadow work, and then my own stuff. And I've done all these really amazing modalities, which was amazing. It has been incredible, but it still does lead me to answering questions. It still seems as though, to some degree, is it just one of those things where we just keep doing it? Is it just this thing where we just keep doing it and showing up and having these experiences of just always attending these certain things to see if we can get a result, but is it actually still keeping us in that mindset of victim mentality, or being the student or rather than taking that initiative, that leadership responsibility, or that role flip from training and educating the self. And we're constantly always educating, absolutely, but I feel like that we're constantly having to switch and flip between different roles of student and teacher, and also but combining the two together, but it's just really interesting. And anyway, I don't know how I came about. I'm just talking, it's just whatever's coming through. But I really wanted to go a little bit more into, these certain things and how it led me and where it's leading me, because, I've done all these certain things and had these amazing experiences with different modalities and things like this. And breathwork has been an absolute incredible journey for me through different variations, and it's almost like my body tells me and knows when I actually need to do a deeper breath work, because I know that I'm holding on to something. It's like a build up for me at the moment. Like, I used to do it quite regularly, but I feel like for me now, because I've done so much of the breath work and the healing itself, that it's more about really going about it every few times, maybe more than a few times a year now. Once you've done a few amount, and because you can do a lot of this stuff on your own, you can do a lot of nasal breathing, you can work with mouth breathing, all that kind of stuff. But sometimes when we go into a bit more of that deeper work, then we need to be able to recognize what's showing up for us in our body. If there's some stuck energy, such as, discomfort or pain, or we get tingly, or, we got to also keep reminding ourselves that, we're safe. We're safe in our body, and it's okay to feel, and, because we're becoming our own facilitator in a sense. So that is one great thing. Sometimes it's really nice to have someone else help us out as well. But really with the breath work, it was a really good introduction for me to really be able to explore a little bit more deeply about what was actually going on inside for me. And then that led to more the yoga stuff. So before I really got into yoga and all that kind of stuff, like, I thought, oh, these are just postures and all that stuff, we're just doing some long holds. And as I started to really delve deeply into it, and I recognized, there's so much more to all this. There does include breath work and different types of breath work, like nasal breathing and pranayama, and all different types. You can do like 4, box breathing, there's circular breathing and kundalini, and all these kinds of really cool things that we can really help to initiate and activate and bring about like more balance into the body. And as I started to go and work with the main breathing for a while, it really kind of put me in more of that, out of that masculine role a little bit, and then helped me to go further into that femininity. And this is where I really found that yoga has been helpful, because the movement with the yoga has really helped bring about and integrate all these extra parts that maybe the deeper breath work didn't quite get to. So the movement itself, it does help to elevate and activate the certain energy levels. It helps with obviously strength, physical strength. It also helps with mobility, flexibility, cognition, balance, all these things. It just helps everything on a major scale and a huge level, as does breath work and all these other different modalities. It's just done in a different way, and that's absolutely fine. But I've just noticed myself the changes and how quick it is by cultivating, all of these things more together. The breath is very fascinating. It is very alive. When we activate it, we know what we're doing with the breath. It's quite a beautiful tool to work with. And then when you get into more of the yoga and more yoga therapy, then you're getting into a bit more specific concerns as well, to do with more the body and its physical function, as when it comes to meridian and also energy work, but it works more directly with the function and dysfunction and the harmony and disharmony of the actual body and how it's actually working, whereas the breath work is more about releasing the stagnation or the stuck energy, or in the chi, or the energy that's stuck in the chakras and in the body that we've held on to due to suppression and things that we haven't quite healed yet. So I really just wanted to share this, because it just came through like a speed of light. I'm just like, I was gonna post before, and I'm like, I'd do like on off, like no, that's not it. Had a bit of a rest, I was listening to a reading before, and she gave me some kind of an initiation. I'm like, yep, that's what I'm gonna do. And it gave me a really beautiful kind of go button, which was really nice. And that's the thing, they're the things that we have to really sit with, like really not so much connect with, but listen to actually take those little nudges or those little messages or any of those little aha moments. There's like your secret sauce, right? Because that's what's the initiator. We're so used to just wanting to just be going and wanting to share, and we want to share and share and share and share all this knowledge and do all these things and incredible things, which is completely normal for humanness. But as we are coming more into higher vibration, higher timelines, it's more just about obviously constantly doing. It's just more of that settling in, going with the flow, and like really being in that power of calmness and really enjoying that flow more. And even when you feel and think that you've calmed down, you've got to calm down it again. It's like, calm it down a notch, but times that notch by 3. So anyway, I just wanted to come in and share that. And I just wanted to share that because it's just been amazing. Because I remember that's right. So going into the yoga a little bit more, I've seen these postures because I've just finished my yoga teacher training for kids, and I'm up to the yoga therapy, and it's just awesome because it really focuses more on these direct specific issues like obesity, ADHD, all these kinds of things. And I'm ADHD, but it's just an amazing experience, and I remember going through some of the training stuff, and I was looking at some of these postures, and I'm just like, there is no way in hell I am going to do a backwards bridge ever, because I used to do that. I used to do a backwards bridge when I was doing gymnastics, and it was easy. I was like 7 or 8 years old, But then as soon as I saw this and as an I'm like, no. Firstly, the brain was like, no way, I'm not doing that. But as I kind of got into that and just really started to look at the postures and keep practicing and being persistent with it, I was finally able to go from having a thought to then getting a little bit more strength in my arms and wrists to finally holding a bridge for 10 seconds and now 15 seconds. I'm like, yes. So there's all these little tiny wins, tiny wins, or even though they're big wins for a lot of us, but just taking those celebrations and those experiences with us and really acknowledging that, like acknowledging those small things, even if it does start with some kind of mindset, if it starts with some kind of thing in the head going, no, you can't do it, and then you end up just doing it because you want to be persistent, listen to that. So yeah, that's what I want to talk to you about, and I hope you have an awesome day and speak soon. Bye.